Hey guys, I wanted to explain a cool new feature we added to Varsheet Installer. This is more technical stuff for the guys who are curious about how you handle, 955 websites with, let's say, 80 projects per website, and you're keeping track of all those connection.php files, say, to connect all the files to all of the databases. So let me just show you a visual on that real fast and something we created in Varsheet Installer for it. So say I've got on one of the servers, I've got a stack of websites, and say I go inside any one of those websites, and in there, okay, you recognize everything. So we're going to take a look at the subdomains, we're going to take a look at the files, and we're going to take a look at the databases. So first, the subdomains. That gives us a chance to see what projects we have on this cPanel, right? And that's all these different subdomains for all these different projects that we did. Okay, so it just covers a ton of different industries, over 80. Okay. So here we are, we've got these projects. Each one of these projects has a base 6-page website and 100 pages beyond that, the sitemap. They're all totally different and unique, and they're used for backlinking purposes. So at an average 2 backlinks per page, it's like 212 backlinks, 212 times like 80 subdomains. Okay, so what is that anyway? 200 times 80, 16,000 backlinks covered by one website, but 16,000 by one website, we have almost 1,000 websites, so it's almost 16 million backlinks are possible here. Now, that's the size and scope that we're sitting at now. We'll get larger when we feel like it. Now, having said that, on the other hand, every one of these, if I were to go into, any one of these projects, right? Then, as you probably know, each one of these has its own connection.php file, which allows that project, I'll just view it, doesn't matter. It allows that project to connect to a certain database using a certain username and a certain password. Okay. Now, that means that one subdomain can have everything happening independently on its own database, right? Okay, now every one of those databases is different. Every database name, every database user, every database pass is unique. So each one of these, that's like 80 subdomains plus the root, because if we go to the root, public underscore HTML, then there's also one here, covering the root. And you can tell by the dates, right? This is March 13th, 6:26 a.m. What was that other one I was at? Happened to be right here. April 3rd, right? 8:19 p.m. So yeah, these are all created at different times. They're all different databases. So if we look at the databases themselves, it looks like this on the server, okay? I mean, just a whole bunch of them. And they all have their own information. They've got their own admin section with their own login information. They've got their own batch generated 100 rows into the sitemap on top of the base 7 pages of content, 6 pages plus a sitemap. And then all the variables and the values and everything else. Okay, and if you were to look at like one of these databases here, it gives you a size like 582.6 kilobytes. Okay, if I were to flip to another one, it's no longer 582.6, it's 541.9, because they are all different, even though they all have 100 rows in the sitemap and so on. They're dealing with different variables, right? Different keywords, different company information, whatever it is that we're using, item by item by item by item. Now, here's the point I want to make about that. We have done this before, and this killed us. We have, when we look at all of those different folders, right? We have created like a file updater because we've updated our template, right? Our admin panel over and over again, as you guys know. We're actually up to a version 13 now. Let's not jinx it. And that version right now has the most functionality and power and everything else. And there is a 14th one on the way, or at least a finishing step to 13. One might just call it 14, that we're working on now. Okay, last piece. And then I think last 2 pieces, then I think we'll be done with it. Now, having said that, we have done file updaters because we have all these projects in place, as you know, right? There's like 10,800 that are live. There are over 21,000 being worked on. And of the 10,800 that are live, how do you update all those 10,800 admin panels from version 12 to 13 or 13 to 14? Well, we'd create a file updater because we can't ask people to log into the panels and hit update buttons or something. No, we have to do it remotely through all those websites on all those servers, through all those subdomains, and affect all those MySQL files when necessary, and otherwise update the files. Well, we have put the update in such a way that when we zipped up the files that were changed, that were improved, we might have accidentally zipped up the connection.php file into the file updater. So then when we went to Varsheet installer and we ran it, you know, where is it? File uploader, and we ran it through the entire thing. We overwrote every one of those connection.php files, literally broke them all. You know how hard it is to reconnect the right connection PHP file for every folder, for every project, on every website, on every server? That's a pain. So what do we decide? Never more. That's what we decided. So we built a tool that literally downloads all the connection.php files and saves them organized, so that whenever we need to restore in the event that we accidentally break in, we can upload to overwrite again. So we can literally restore connection.php files remotely in seconds for thousands of installations. Well, minutes for thousands. But there you go. So we can fix things automatically and never have to worry about it. All right. Anyway, I just thought you'd get a kick out of that. We have a lot of things here, and that's one of them.